Good morning, 5th and 6th graders. I hope you're having a good day today. I just want you guys to know that I miss you. Every morning when I come in and look at your empty desk, I think about you guys. I think about you in the evenings as I prepare for the next day. I want you to know I'm praying for you, and I hope that you're doing well at home and doing your best. Here's our map of Western Europe. You have one of these in your book, so don't forget to refer back to it. We studied in our last section on the British Isles, and we've moved kind of more into the heart of Western Europe. We talked last week some about Spain, which is remembered for the matadors, tidelands, explorers, the little country of Portugal, known for the cork oak that it harvests every 10 years. We talked some about Italy with St. Peter's Basilica, the largest Roman Catholic church, the gondolas, how it's known for its artists and musicians, Mount Etna and Mount Vesuvius. Today we're going to head to Greece, and our book really doesn't put a lot of information about Greece because we studied some on ancient Greece. You probably remember that. But just keep in mind you've got the Aegean Sea to the east of Greece. The island of Crete is down south. And of course the capital of Greece is Athens. Now let's dive into a new country, the country of France. And if you're ready, say oui, oui. That's the only French that I know. Let's take a look at what France is known for. Now, France is called the land of revolution. You have people in France, like Spain, stepping out and exploring the new world. Jacques Cartier was one of those explorers. He actually discovered the St. Lawrence River, which is in the northern part of the United States and the southern part of Canada. You also have Louis Pasteur. Now, his work was very important back in the 1500s as well as today because he was the one to discover germs and how they affect our body. Boy, we've been hearing a lot about that recently, the importance of keeping your hands clean, social distancing, and things of that nature. He was one of the first to come up with that idea of germs and how they affect our body. And that was in the 1800s. I believe I said 1500s a moment ago. Madame Marie Curie was a discoverer of an element known as radium, and that has been used to help treat cancer. Now, during this time period, you still had people during the Protestant Reformation that were looking to the Word of God. One that led the way, a man that led the way, was John Calvin in the 1500s, and he encouraged people to follow the teaching of the Word of God. Now, he was kicked out or exiled from the land of France, from the Roman Catholic Church. He fled to Switzerland, and his followers were called the Huguenots. And interestingly enough, one American was a Huguenot named Paul Revere. You probably recognize that name as a silversmith and the one known for The British Are Coming. France enters a period called the Enlightenment. Now, when we think of the word enlightened, like, oh, I've been enlightened, that has an idea of a new way of thinking, but it was really a new dark age for France. You had a man by the name of Voltaire. He was a wicked Frenchman, and he encouraged the French people to disregard Bible truths, disregard what God says. We ourselves can come up with our own answers. We are intelligent human beings, and we call that humanism. I thought this was interesting, and I know you won't be able to see this from home unless you maybe pause it, but right here, it mentions that Voltaire had forecast that within 100 years, there would be no more Bibles. But interestingly enough, about 50 years after his death, the Geneva Bible Society began printing Bibles from his very home. You know what? That gives me encouragement. God's word cannot be stamped out. The truth of the Bible and the reality of God will live forever because he is real and we can trust in him. This rebellion and lack of biblical morals led to something called the French Revolution. That's a time of change. And the French people tried some new ideas like, let's X out Sundays. We're going to close our churches. No Christmas, because if we're not believing the Bible, why celebrate Christmas? That's Jesus' birthday. No Easter. They tried a 10-day work week. That didn't last very long. I can't imagine that. But this was their thinking during this Enlightenment period. And a man rose to power who was one of the most ruthless dictators the world has ever known, Napoleon Bonaparte. And again, you may want to pause the video and read some of this information. He led the dictatorship of France. Later, after he passed on, France in the 20th century became a socialist government. That is, a socialist is a person who believes that a country's businesses and their industries should be taken away from the individual and placed in control of the government. Socialism. Now, there's a bit more reading as you finish this section on some geography of France, and I encourage you to dive in, find out a little bit about their capital, Paris, France. But I hope this lesson has been helpful, and I'll see you again soon. Have a great rest of your day.